Hey everybody, good evening. Sorry it's been a while. We've had quite a busy summer and quite frankly I just hadn't had time or the inclination to make a video at the time, so I just thought I would have a little bit of a chat with you guys about what's been going on the last few months. So yeah, I mean, I would just start off by saying one of the reasons for the lack of videos is because, quite simply, this channel was never supposed to be about our personal lives. I didn't really want to sort of share everything about, you know, what we're up to in our lives. You know, it was always going to be about the renovation of the house. That side of things, that was the whole sort of reason I started it, was something that we could look back on. However, this year things haven't gone to plan. I know we're only in September, so we're not at the end of the year by any means, but we've had a lot of things coming up. Nothing serious, but just vehicles mainly, cars, vans, has taken up a lot of Jim's time. Firstly, my car went wrong, and he spent a good month on that. Luckily he's a mechanic, so he can do these things himself, but he has, you know, it's just meant that all of his time has gone on fixing cars. Before that, earlier in the year, he did get a job in our village, so he was working every day, so of course he didn't really have time or the energy to do anything on the house during those 3 months. So that was March, April, May, June. Yeah, it came to an end in June. So, and then literally straight from there, all the cars started going wrong. So my car, the car that I use most of the time, plus a friend of ours, his car needed some work, and he does do us a lot of favours, so Jim spent a bit of time fixing that up for him as well. And then the Range Rover that we bought last year, which was, we were thinking about keeping it forever, but really we need the money more than we need that car, so we're now considering selling that, because what we wanted originally was a van that did everything. So a van that we could camp in, that we could use to pick up materials, just an all-purpose van. And we've been looking for a van like this for probably the last 3 or 4 years, and last month one actually did come up, so we had to grab it because we have been looking for this for a long time, and it ticked all our boxes. So we got the van, but we had a lot of complications with the registration for many reasons. It was an import from Switzerland, which is a good thing because, no offence to the Bulgarians, but they don't tend to look after their vehicles that well. So we wanted something that came from either Germany or another Western European country. That sounds really awful me saying that, but we just really didn't want a car or a van that had been just neglected and beaten up, really. So we got this van, and it was bought as a camper van, but it you know, like I said earlier, it ticked all our boxes. So it was a long wheelbase, it was a 4x4 van as well, which is what we wanted originally before we got the Range Rover. And what else did it have? Yeah, it came with, we weren't looking for these things, but it did have a solar panel and things like that, so that was a bonus. But we couldn't get it registered in CAT because they basically, because it was done up as a camper van, we have a family, so it only had 2 seats in the front, and we had to put our own seats in. But they can't be just any old seats. They have to be proper Volkswagen, you know, proper, like the pattern or whatever. It's got to be Volkswagen seats, it can't just be any seats. So yeah, there is more to it, but I'm not going to go into all of it. Yeah, it was registered under 2 categories, a cargo van and a camper, and they just said we can't do that, you know, you've got to choose which category you want it to be. So it's not like in the UK where you can just get a van and do whatever you want to it and not like let anybody know. It has to be done a certain way. So yeah, as I said, we've just been extremely busy doing, you know, car related things, I suppose, and just we've had no time to do much on the house at all. There's been a little bit more done on the kitchen, but not much. And right now, you know, we are thinking about letting go some of the vehicles, because we've still got 3 vans that we brought over from the UK when we moved here. So Jim went back and forth a few times, and every time he came back he bought another van. So we're going to sell everything, not everything, but we're going to sell everything but probably the van. We may get a little run around in the future, but it's not majorly important right now. Just out on a little dog walk. Dylan was supposed to be coming, but he decided to go into the centre to see if he could find any of his friends, which is fine. You know, he's almost 8, he's old enough now. That's Max just up there. It's nice now in September, you know, the evenings are a lot cooler than they were. We had a really hot summer again. Lots of wildfires, not in our village thankfully, but yeah, July and August are very hot, you know, going into the 40s. So I guess really, like, it's just been really important to us as well to actually like go out and have an adventures, you know, in the summer, and just when we can is get out and actually see Bulgaria, as well as just slogging our guts out here at home. You know, renovations and stuff, we are prioritising, you know, having little breaks away here and there. As you've seen from our previous videos, you know, we've been skiing and been to the sea, you know, lots of things like that. You know, we do like to get out and have an adventure when we can. So, you know, we're honest people. We're not we don't make any money out of videos or anything like that at the moment. You know, we're not trying to rip off other English. But I won't go into that because that's a whole another video. But you know, we just want to sort of do our own thing, and you know, that does unfortunately mean that it's a slow process. So thanks for like sticking with us for the ride, because it is going to be a long one. And yeah, I'm just going to finish up, I think, by leaving a few photos of what we've been up to the last few months. So yeah, see you in the next video, and ciao.